Hey guys, this is Torna, and today we have Lost Caverns of Ixalan pre-release box. I've just gone and picked it up right now. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to have a look at the cards inside and potentially, build a deck from them that I would be able to use at pre-release. Obviously, I'm not going to be using this one at my pre-release. I got two of them, so that way I'm opening one here for you guys to be able to see as well. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of, open it up, kind of see about, potentially building a deck for it and stuff like that to see how we kind of go here. So I'm going to just open the side of it here. There we go. So I like the way it kind of folds out here. That's really nice. So we've got inside, we've got like the tokens and stuff like that on the side here, which is nice. Pop that over to the side there. And then we've got the nice like little kind of deck boxy kind of thing. This is the first time I'm recording something like, this style. So excuse me if it's a little bit rough. So a little deck box kind of thing. And inside we have got, checking that there's nothing else in here. There's something in that part of it there. I don't know if there's something in that part of it there. One second. I feel bad ripping it. Is there a way to like be able to fold that part out? Or be able to just see inside? Kind of semi-solid, so I'm kind of worried that there is something in there. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to rip it just to check. I'll have another one, so I don't need to like, stress too much about it. No, there's nothing inside that part. So you can see this part here, there's nothing inside that. Just so that way you guys know that, you know what? It folds the top. So I would have been able to open it anyway. Anyway, so one broken box. So from here we have got a promo card, like a little art kind of card that I can use as like a divider or something, a D20, which is nice. Is there a special like side on this at all? Yeah, there we go. The 20 is a little Ixalan symbol. Then we've got a pre-release guide here. So building a pre-release guide. So we want 15 to 18 creatures, 5 to 8 other spells, and then try and vary the mana cost, and then 17 lands. When in doubt, ask for advice. So that's probably why you're here, to ask for advice. So as for our promo here, we've got the threefold Thunder Hulk. So he enters the battlefield with 3+1/+1s. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, create a number of 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creatures tokens equal to his power, and we can sacrifice other artifacts to put a +1/+1 counter onto him. So we can kind of, generate out a whole bunch of gnomes with him, which is nice. Oh, there's another little card in here too. Assumedly it's just like a promo card kind of thing. Ways to play. Whoops. I'm going to use that card before I make this video. So that way I'm going to unlock my boosters on the arena. Then we got like tokens and stuff like that. The new finality tokens, some stun tokens, and some +1/+1s. And then our card here. All right. Then we've got our 6 different draft booster packs to be able to build our deck with. So I'm going to divide them up by like by color, so that way it's easier for us to be able to create a deck with them. So let's see. So we've got the Skull Cap Snail. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles a card from their hand. That's interesting. Unlucky Drop. Target artifact or creature's owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. Nice. And Iron Paw Aspirant that enters when it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 on a target creature. We've got Ancestor's Aid here, which is a target creature gets +2/+0, gains first strike until end of turn, and create a treasure token. We've got our Cavern Stomper, which is a dinosaur, enters the battlefield, scry 2, and then you can pay to make it so that it's not blocked by anything 2 power or less. Draw 3 cards, discard 1. We've got a Shipwreck Sentry here, Defender. As long as an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn, he can attack as long as it doesn't, as though it didn't have Defender. That's an interesting card. So nice Defender. It's got 3/3 as well. Got 3/3 and Defender. So it's going to be an interesting one as long as we're generating a lot of artifacts. That's not too bad. We've got the Armored Kincaller here. Whenever it enters the battlefield, reveal a dinosaur from my hand. If you do, or if you control another dinosaur, gain 3 life. Cartographer's Companion, which makes us map tokens when it enters into the battlefield. Colorless, so I don't have a pile for colorless yet. Oh, just kind of. I don't know if we can use that one there. I'm going to put it over here just in case, because I'm not sure. The Inverted Iceberg. So this is the one that when it enters the battlefield, we can draw a card from it, as well as craft it into the Iceberg Titan here. So whenever it attacks, I can tap or untap a target artifact or creature. That's an interesting card. Nice one. Blues here. Colossal Dactyl with Reach and Trample. Just a generic kind of dino there. Well, that's gone all fuzzy. Not helpful. Self-Reflection here. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control. And it's got Flashback as well, which is nice. The Dig Site Conservator. There we go, back in focus. Sacrifice it to exile the top 4 cards. Top 4 cards from a library. Activate when as a sorcery. We can sacrifice it to do that. And then when it dies, you can pay 4 if you do, and I can discover 4. We can kind of sacrifice it to exile cards from someone else, which is good when people have, like, you know, the wow, my brain's not working. The new mechanic where you like need permanence in your graveyard and stuff. You can kind of stop people doing that, as well as discover from that too. And we've got Tarian Soul Cleaver. Equipped creature has vigilance, and then whenever another creature or artifact is put into your graveyard, into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 on it. Then we've got our nice fancy island. So I'm just going to put lands over there. We've got Play Magic on mobile. Alright, so second pack here. More tokens. Give me just a second. So I've got another Iron Paw Aspirant. We've got a Panicked Altasaur. When we can tap it to deal 2 damage to each opponent, and it's got Reach, which is nice. Nice dino there. We've got Disturbed Slumber. Until end of turn, target land becomes a 4/4 dinosaur with Reach and Haste. A nice instant. Echo of Dust. Descend, that's what it is. My brain wasn't working for it. I've got the Echo of Dust here, which is Descend. As long as there are 4 or more cards in our graveyard, it gets +1/+1 and life link there. We've got the Unlucky Drop. Target creature's owner puts it on the top or battlefield. We had that one just before. Another chance we can mill 2 cards and then return up to 2 creatures from our graveyard to our hand. So we've got a few things like here to do with like milling and stuff, and milling and returning graveyards and stuff like that. The Descend, that was the other one that I was trying to think of to go alongside them. Dinotomaton, Menace, and then when it enters battlefield, target creature you control gains Menace as well. I'm going to put that one there, it's red. Malamut Veteran, Descend 4. Whenever there are 4 or more permanents in your graveyard, put a +1/+1 on target creature whenever it attacks, and it's got Trample. We've got Wizards of the Dread. When Wizards of the Dread enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. I can choose a creature or artifact from it, and then they discard it. We can craft it as well to turn it into the Dread Ocerosaur. Dinosaur Skeleton Horror. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may mill 2 cards. Oh, some more mill stuff there. We've got the Malamut Battle Glyph here. Choose target creature you control and target creature you don't control. If the creature you control entered the battlefield this turn, put a +1/+1 on, and then they battle. The Deep Cavern Bat. When it enters the battlefield, I can look at a card in someone else's hand and then exile and not look at a target opponent's hand and then exile a non-land card from it until it leaves the battlefield. Tendril of the Myco Tyrant. We've got put 7+1/+1s on target non-creature land I control. It becomes a 0/0 fungus creature until with haste. It's still a land. And then we've got Polani's Hatcher. Ooh, a full art. So other dinosaurs we control have haste. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/0/1 green dinosaur egg creature tokens. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control one or more eggs, I can sacrifice an egg and turn it into a creature. That's an interesting one. Nice dino synergy there. I think that's the first dual color one we've got as well. A poison dart frog, which is going to add us some mana, and it can gain death touch, and it's got reach. And then a hidden courtyard, so another land here. Cave, one of the new caves that we can use to discover the plains, the white cave here. So, next pack. We've got the Echo of Dust again. We've got Family Reunion. Choose one. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Creatures you control gain hexproof until end of turn. A nice little buff there. Charter Volcano. This is the one where if you descend, you get a +1/+1 onto it. Staggering Size. Give +3/+3 and trample until end of turn to something. Vito's Inquisitor. So we can sacrifice a creature or artifact, put a +1/+1 counter onto it, and it gains menace until end of turn. We've got the Malamet Veteran again. Oltec Archaeologist. When it enters the battlefield, we can return an artifact from our graveyard to our hand or scry 3. During discovery, up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn, and discover 4. Runaway Boulder. This one I really like. It's really interesting. So when it enters the battlefield, it's going to deal 6 damage. However, it sticks around even though you've used it. And it's also got flash, so you can kind of bring it in and just use it to kill someone. We've got Idol of the Deep King. When it enters the battlefield, deal 2 damage to any target. And then we can craft it into the Sovereign's Muckle Ortuli. that's an annoying word to say. When it enters the battlefield, attach it to a creature and it gets +2/+0. And it's got equip 2. That's not amazing. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. I mean, I guess this part here is kind of like an instant. You can't see it. Give me just 1 second to try and fix the webcam. And we're back. I'm still holding in the exact same spot so you can see it. Hopefully, that's kind of fixed the webcam. It's all should be focused better. I don't know. It's got like a spell here that you're able to cast, but it's attached to an artifact and then you can craft it. So I guess it's to be able to get use of it later on rather than it just kind of going into your graveyard. I don't know. I think Descend, like if I wanted to have stuff with Descend, it would be better. Got the Abyssal Gorestalker here, so forces everyone to sacrifice 2 creatures. Enterprising Scallywag. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, create a treasure. So more descend stuff. Chart a course. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card unless you attack this turn. So we can play this after, after we've attacked, so that way we don't have to discard something. Poetic Ingenuity. Whenever one or more dinosaurs you control attack, create that many treasures. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature. This ability can only activate once per turn. And I've got the Hidden Nursery. So that's just like our Hidden Courtyard here. We can sacrifice it to discover later on. And then a copy token. Colossal Dreadmaw. Alrighty. So let's see, we've got Atali's Favor here. We can enchant something. When it enters the battlefield, gain discover 3, and then the enchanted creature gets +1 and has haste. The River Guide, so a merfolk. I think is this our first merfolk that we've got? When it enters the battlefield, it explores. We've got the Fungal Fortitude. This one's really interesting because it makes it so that when something dies, we can bring it back. Tyrant Hat. Whenever the attached creature attacks, we can draw a card and discard a card. It's going to be cheaper to equip to a pirate. It also gets +1/+1. Iron Sport Aspirant we had. The Olatic. Wow, okay, I just put that in completely the wrong spot. Oltec Archaeologist we had. Daring Discovery we had. Runaway Boulder we had. Twists and Turns. If a creature you control would explore, instead you scry 1, then that creature explores. That's really interesting. When it enters the battlefield, target creature you control explores. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, we can transform it into the Mycoid Maze. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature from among them and put that into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Interesting. The Bloodthorn Flail gives +2/+1, and we can discard a card to play that. So that's like, you know, it can help our milling and stuff like that if we've got cards stuck out in our hand. Injali Dawn Runner. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. It's got double strike too. We've got the Spygrass Siren here. When it enters the battlefield, create a map token. Restless Prairie. So this is the one that is going to turn into a llama, a green and white llama. And then when it attacks other creatures we control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. That's land. We've got the Kotali Scavenger here, which is to do with Descend. If there's 4 or more permanents in your graveyard, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. We've got a Swamp, and then we've got a Fungus. We've got 2 more to go. So I'm kind of looking at them, and I like the idea of like a mill deck to do with like Descend and stuff like that, but we'll have to see what we end up with. We've got Petrify here, which makes it so the target enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't activate. Ancestral Aid, kind of getting a few that we've already got here of the commons. Ancestral Reminiscence we got. Tinker's Tote, we haven't got this one. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens. So then we can sacrifice it to gain 3 life. Pathfinding Axejaw. When it enters the battlefield, it explores. We've got Blood Rage Mycoid. If we've descended, we get to create a 1/1 black fungus token with a can't block. Osmium Blast deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. The Lodestone Needle. When it enters the battlefield, we can tap up to 1 target artifact or creature and put 2 stun counters on it, and then we can flip it over by crafting it to make target creature you control explore. That's not too bad. These are interesting because they're kind of like, you know, this part here is kind of like a instant kind of thing. It's also got flash, so it's basically an instant that you can then craft into like an artifact later on, which is very interesting. We've got the Bit of Triumph as an additional cost to it. We can discard a card or pay 3 life, destroy target creature or planeswalker. That's a very nice removal. Blood Fury Strider, tap to untapped artifacts or creatures you control, and target creature gets +2/+0. Volatile Vault, so it adds 1, or we can pay 1 and sacrifice it to destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. They can then search for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle, then create a creature token. We've got the Deep Root Pilgrimage here. Whenever 1 or more non-creature... Oh, this is a really nice one. If 1 or more non-token for merfolk you control becomes tapped, create a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token with hexproof. Then we've got the Hidden Cataract. So this is just, you know, the blue version of the other ones. And then finally, a blank card that we can change later on. All right. The last pack, and then we'll have a look at building a deck. I'll probably have to head off for a second before I can do that. We've got the Hotfoot Gnome, which is going to have haste, and then gives other creatures haste by tapping itself. Seeker of Sunlight, it explores a merfolk that explores, except you can pay you pay 2 colors, 1 green to explore. We've got Join the Dead, which is another sorcery that we can, like another removal that we can use, which is really nice. We've got a couple of really nice black removals and a couple of nice white removals in here. Cogwalk Wrestler, when it enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls get -2, -0 until end of turn. Quicksand Whirlpool. Wow, okay, just another removal. So we can exile a creature by paying 2 colorless, 1 white, as long as it's something that's tapped, and that's an instant, so we can just play it on someone else's turn or as they're attacking or something. Rumbling Rockside deals damage equal to the number of lands that we control to the target creature. Abrade to destroy an artifact or deal 3 damage. Disruptor Wanderglyph. When it attacks, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. So if other people are running Descended, this might be interesting to run, because we can screw over other people's Descended. This one here, when it dies, target a creature you control explores. So that's a nice thing that we can sack later on to explore. Octalic Landmark. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. And then on the other side, whenever it attacks, target attacking creature without flying gains flying. So we can give flying to other things. Has it got flying on this side? Yeah, it's got flying on that side. So it levitates our other stuff. And we've got the Blackthorn Flail here. +2, +1. And pay 3 or discard a card to play it. We had that one before. Splygeist Siren. Create a map token when it enters the battlefield. Tendril of the Myco Tyrant. 7 +1/+1s onto a target land. Kitsail Larcanist. I don't think we've had this one yet. When it enters the battlefield, for each other player, choose up to 1 other target artifact or creature that player controls. For as long as it's in the battlefield, the chosen permanents become treasure artifacts. Oh, it turns other people's stuff into treasures. That's really interesting. Then we've got the Hidden Nursery here, which we had earlier, and then a map token. I like how we've only got 1 map token for it, besides the fact that maps are meant to be like the big kind of thing from that. All right, I'm going to be right back, and well, I'm going to cut this, so I'll be back in just a second. Alrighty, so now I'm going to have a look at basically through the decks and see what we've kind of got. So in the black, we got, some nice artifacts, some nice removal stuff. We've got a few things that are discard and stuff like that. We've got making people exile a card from their hand. This one's Descended, which is nice. Which, we can do pretty easily because we can discard stuff from our hands. Making other people sacrifice stuff. We can use this dude, the Vito's Inquisitor, to sacrifice our own stuff. And Descend as well. I've got a few kind of Descend stuff here, which is nice. Forcing other people to discard, as well as milling our own stuff. Another chance, so that way we can mill stuff and then kind of bring back some of the stuff that we've had in there. So in our blues here, we've got some human, we've got a fair few pirates kind of in here. But we don't really have much to do with pirates. It's going to be helpful. We've got some merfolk stuff. We don't really have anything that's kind of focused in here. There's a few pirate stuff, but not much pirate stuff. This Shipwreck Sentry I like. I like the style of that dude, but he's not going to do too much for us. A couple removal things in there. So I think I'm going to take blue out. There wasn't many merfolk in there. There wasn't much artifact stuff in there. There wasn't much pirate stuff in there. I think that I'm kind of not too bothered about that. Let's have a look at red next. We've got the Abrade to destroy target things. We can destroy someone with that. Some removal. We've got some golems in here. A few things to do with tapping and stuff, but we don't have any of the stuff that really does stuff when it gets tapped. You got Discover there. Trampled. A couple dinosaur things. Some more pirates here. So this dude's to do with Descended, which isn't too bad, but, it's not going to really help us. One kind of crafting thing here to give +2. A couple descend things in there. Not really many dinos either. You know, I don't think that... I think we'll discount a red as well. Alright. And here's our greens, which is what kind of goes alongside it. We do have a couple fungus in here, which is nice. A couple merfolk, a dino. To do with descend there. Descend, the Malamute one. But, like, there's not really anything that's going to... Like, we can use this to battle our creatures and, like... But that's, like, if that's... We'd have to be sacrificing something, basically, for that to work. Turn something into a dinosaur, which is nice. A couple dino... Like, we got a few dinosaurs in here. Got, like, 1, 2, 3, 4 dinosaurs, but they're all big dinosaurs. We didn't really have any big, like, little red dinosaurs in there. Alright, let's look at the white ones here. So when it enters the battlefield, scry 2, and it's going to give our flying to our dudes. We got the Miner's Guide, which is the one when it dies, it can explore. I'm holding things up a bit too high here. A few removals in here. Create tokens, so we can use this for stuff to sack. However, because they're tokens, they're not going to work for our descend there. When it enters the battlefield, explore. Return target artifact from your graveyard to your hand. Or scry 3. Put +1/+1s out. Creatures you control gain hexproof until end of turn. That's not too bad. And then our other ones over here. Exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Enchanted permanent. Oh wait, that was white. Why is that over there? And we can cycle this. We can cycle those runaway. That's white as well. Okay, somehow I've managed to put whites in the wrong one. This one here, though, whenever an artifact or creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 on equipped creature. And it gives vigilance as well. That's not too bad to keep. So. And then we got our one dinosaur, which is our green one here. The Polani's Hatcher. Which, you know, isn't too bad, but no, I don't really want to. I don't think I want to go into dinosaurs. I don't think we have enough like low drops for dinosaurs. Well, we've got like stuff here. So I'm going to look for basically 23 cards here. Not including lands. Lands, we got like a few different options here. We got this one which you can sacrifice to make someone else one. So this will work well with like our what is it? With like our theme of like sacrificing stuff and descending and stuff. I think that'll work well with that. So let's look for roughly like 23 cards. So we've got, oh, not including this one. That one doesn't count. So 23 cards out of these ones. So I'm going to go with one of these to be able to return an artifact. And I think that one's pretty good to petrify something, a removal. The Oltec Landmark. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2, yeah. Then we can give our things flying later on. I don't think this is bad. I think this could enable some nice stuff. I like the idea of that one. And the Miner's Guidewing, so that one we can sacrifice this one like with our sacks and stuff. We've got the Quicksand Whirlpool and the Cosmian Blast and a couple removals. This one here we can sacrifice. Alright, the Kinjali's Dawnrunner. I think I'm going to leave this one out. When it's the battlefield Explorer, it doesn't really synergize with stuff though. The Oltec Archaeologist we already have in there. This one here I think I'm going to include just to give our creatures hexproof. The Ironspore Aspirant. I've got 3 of them in here. Let's just sit them to the side. They're not a bad option to kind of have in there. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. Alright. Bloodthorn Veil to give +1. I'll put, yeah, so those two, this one. If we descended, sure. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles a card from their hand. I don't think we need that one. Don't need that one. The Fungal Fortitude, definitely, so that way we have something to sack. The Abyssal Gorestalker. When it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. So that's not going to be too bad. I'll sit that one down here in the maybes. The Vito's Inquisitor, definitely. The Echo of Dusk, we've got 2 of those. They're going to be helpful. The Deep Cavern Bat. When we can exile something from an opponent's hand. Visage of Dread. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an artifact and then make him discard it. Then craft it with 2 creatures and turn it into the Dread Osseous. Whenever it enters the battlefield, it may draw 2 cards. Yeah, that's not too bad. Another chance, not too bad. Okay. So let's have a look here. What we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I've got 19 cards here at the moment. So I'm just going to divide them up by mana requirements. We've got a lot of 2-drops there. The Blood Flail is a 1-drop though. That's 3, 2, 4, 2, 6. So the I don't know, the Quicksand Whirlpool is technically 6, but thank you. But it becomes 3 if we've got stuff on the board. So I'm going to put it under 3 because we're most likely going to use that on a creature. I got a couple 1-drops. Oh, that one there is 1-drop as well. The Landmark there, and then 5. All right. So, the Ironspore Aspirant is a 2-drop with +1/+1s onto it. I think we could use this and then sack it. I think we could use that and then sack it later on. And then maybe one of the Skullcap Snails and the other Bloodthorn. So let's see. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24. And I don't think we need that one. None of these other ones, like the Runaway Boulder's not too bad as but it's an expensive removal. And it's good to be able to have an artifact to be able to tap in there, but we also aren't going to use it, really. Alright, so I'm going to get rid of... Where was it? I added that snail in there. I don't think we need the snail. Alright, so these are our 23 cards, and then we've got one kind of special land that we're going to be using in here. Actually, let's go 2 special lands. I think I'd like to have the Hidden Courtyard in there, just for the Discover, because I find it interesting. We can use it later on. Discover 4, that's most of the stuff in our deck, so we should be fine. Alright, so Soul Cleaver. So this is going to make it so that we're going to get constantly +1/+1s onto something that we can make into big. We've got the Oltec Archaeologist here to bring back any artifacts that we sacrifice from our hand. We have a couple kind of artifacts in here that we'd be able to kind of use, so we're going to mostly use it for the scrying though. I think the scrying alone is going to be useful. The Blood Raid Myconoid, so that way anytime we descend, we're going to create a whole bunch of fungus tokens each turn. The Vito's Inquisitor, one of our sacking, one of our sacked methods. The Tinker's Tote here to create some 1/1 colorless gnomes that we can then sack. We can then also sacrifice this to gain life and then bring it back with the Archaeologist. We've got the Quicksand here to be able to exile a creature. Oh no, wait. I was wrong before. It's always a creature, but it's less if it's a tapped creature. Join the Dead as a finishing off thing, especially if we've got, 4 more permanents. We've got the Another Chance to bring back some creatures if we get some. The Ironspot Aspirant to put a +1/+1 onto a target creature. Petrify to stop something as a removal. Cosmium as a removal. Family Reunion here to give hexproof to our stuff, or +1/+1 to finish someone off. We've got the Bitter Triumph here, which we can discard a card or play life to destroy something, more removal, which is nice. Fungal Fortitude, put this onto something, sacrifice it, and then we'll be able to bring it back. Echo of Dusk. We've got the Descend here, but then it's going to be a 3/3 with lifelink because we're going to hopefully have more permanents in our graveyard. Again, another one of those. The Deep Cavern Bat to exile something from someone else's hand unless they remove it. The Visage of the Dread, so when it enters the battlefield, we're going to be able to make someone discard a card, a specific card. And then we can, craft it with a couple creatures from our graveyard if they're in there to switch it over to this. To make it so that we can mill. And it's also got Menace. Nice. Bloodthorn Veil, another way for us to be able to discard cards, but also buff up our creatures. Architect's Landmark to scry, another artifact that we can bring back. And then we can also switch it into the Golem to give our stuff Levitate later on. Like give our, the Echo of Dust or something like that. Levitate. Miner's Guidewing, an early drop with Flying of Vigilance, which is nice. And then whenever it dies, so whether we sack it or whether it's blocked something, we get to explore to put a +1/+1 or find a thing, and then another Bloodthorn Veil. But that's it, guys. That's my kind of pre-release deck. It's not going to obviously be a pre-release deck, but that's how I'm going to build roughly what I'm going to be looking at here. We've got a couple special lands as well here. We're going to fill out the rest with swamps and with plains there. So we're finishing up. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.